Side. Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to the 7. Let's get a look at the big 7 stories right now. And topping the list for us tonight, police found 2 missing East Tennessee girls who are considered in danger. Metro Nashville police say 14-year-old Jada Enos and 17-year-old Timber Evans were found in Clarksville, just north of Nashville. Police said the 2 ran away from a Sevierville group home on October 20th. We are working right now to learn more, but again, Jada and Timber have been found tonight. Now, their disappearance is bringing a bigger issue to light. In Middle Tennessee, a man was taken into custody yesterday after 2 missing children were spotted on an adult escort website. 27-year-old Charles Woods faces multiple charges, including sex trafficking.
Trafficking's happening everywhere in the state at any given time, and it can be happening to people you know, to people you know's children or friends or anything. If you're not trying to educate yourself and know about this, who's going to help that?
Now, if you or someone you know is in this type of situation, you can call the National Human Trafficking Resource Center hotline. Our next big 7 story for you is an update to a case we followed for several years now. One of the people behind bars in connection to the death of Gibbs High School student Zach Monday has been denied judicial diversion. Isaiah Brooks was sentenced to 10 years in prison in November of 2019 after he pleaded guilty to felony reckless endangerment. However, he will serve the remainder of his sentence on probation after spending only 2 years in prison. Zach Monday died after a party where there was underage drinking. He was 15. Police say Brooks and Monday got into a fight at the party, and the fight ended with the teen suffering a head injury. Doctors said his injuries were treatable had he been brought to a hospital sooner. Well, the evolving saga of falling bottles in Neyland Stadium is our next big 7 story. The University of Tennessee has released now a series of security measures that will be in place at Neyland Stadium in the wake of the trash throwing incident at the conclusion of the Ole Miss game. The one that, of course, caused a 20-minute delay and cost the school $250,000 in fines. Additional security will be positioned throughout the student seating sections, 3 per aisle, each wearing high-visibility shirts. Meanwhile, the university is investigating 16 reports of students involved with throwing objects on the field. Also, 9 people who were not students have been told that they will not be able to attend any Tennessee athletics events for the rest of the 2021-22 academic and athletic year. Our next big 7 story surrounds a sense of community. People living in Hardin Valley are focusing on the positive now after a fall display was destroyed. You know, for the past 16 years, the Ellison family brings joy to the area with the horse and carriage at the corner of their house. It's easy to spot if you're driving along Hardin Valley Road with its bright pumpkins, gourds, flowers, and corn. Well, a few nights ago, the display was destroyed, and the Ellisons thought about, well, just getting rid of the whole thing. But the community, however, wasn't going to let that happen.
We bought our stuff here locally, and so I went in and we bought some pumpkins and we bought some mums because we knew that some of the mums were a little bloomed out, and we're like, oh, they're going to have mums.
It just gives you chills to sit here and think that, you know, the community does love this so much, and, you know, it's an expectation. It's one of those that I guess the bar's raised for next year already.
Chris Ellison says the display was bigger and better after the community pitched in to help. Several businesses and families brought over pumpkins and flowers, and he asked all of them to write a note. So this just might be now a new tradition. We do have a sad update from Zoo Knoxville, and it makes the list of big 7 stories for you tonight. The zoo says Milo, the black bear, died this week because of age-related health issues. Milo and his brother Odie were rescued by the Alaska Department of Fish and Game when their mother died back in 1999. They came to Zoo Knoxville in 2001. We're told Milo recently began exhibiting signs that he was struggling with painful arthritis and loss of appetite. Despite treatment with pain medications and appetite stimulants, the zoo says his quality of life continued to decline, and that's when the decision was made to humanely euthanize him. Now, Milo, the black bear, was 22. An initiative from Knox County Commission to fight against domestic violence is our next big 7 story for you tonight. It's recently been approved. In Knox County, Mayor Glenn Jacobs' weekly update today, he said the domestic abuse death review team will concentrate on investigating domestic abuse deaths. Now, we're told the team will also help make sure different agencies are communicating between each other on these cases to help make sure the ball is never dropped. Knox County District Attorney Sharm Allen will appoint team members with the approval of Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs. Our next Big 7 story takes us to court. A 32-year-old man receiving a life sentence, 4 years to the day after prosecutors say he shot and killed a man he believed was responsible for his brother's death. This is according to Knox County DA Sharm Allen's office. Prosecutors say Philip Locke lured his victim under the guise of a drug deal, convincing him to drive to Baker Avenue. After that, we're told Locke shot the victim in the head 3 times. The DA's office says Locke was convicted on a laundry list of charges: first-degree murder, especially aggravated robbery, carjacking, possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, and unlawful possession of a firearm. Locke must spend now at least 51 years in prison before he can meet with the parole board under current Tennessee law. Now, this story actually brings to mind something we covered yesterday for you. Knox County's DA sharing concerns over proposed change to cut parole eligibility to as little as 25 years for people serving life sentences. If you missed this full story yesterday, you can still find it on your 6 on Your Side news app. Let's talk about what's going on outside right now. Meteorologist Ken Weathers joins us now from the Storm Center. Ken, it's the last night of the high school football regular season, so a lot of people are going to be heading out tonight. Might want to grab that poncho just in case, right?
And, Bo, as I mentioned earlier, something to wipe the bleachers off with, because otherwise it'll be a miserable game. It's chilly as well. Scattered rain showers kind of rotating around an area of low pressure right along the I-24 corridor between Nashville and Chattanooga. That's funneling that moisture northward. But what we have seen over the past hour or so, starting to decrease a little bit in coverage. But the lighter blue, that's your drizzle. The darker greens, the little more steady rainfall. That's some heavier rainfall between Johnson City and Bristol at this time. 6 timeline shows this rain shower activity again slowly diminishing, at least the steadier rain, but the cloud cover will linger, as will the areas of drizzle. And guess what? Another round of rain starts to arrive tomorrow. We'll see additional scattered rain showers, especially the first half of the day tomorrow. Temperatures like today only going to be in the mid to upper 50s for most areas, but improving by the time we get to Halloween. We've had some extremes here in East Tennessee. The warmest, 84 back in 1950. The coldest, 28 back in 1954. The wettest, 1.12 inches of rain in 51. And do you remember the trace of snow in 1993? I sure do, but we won't have any of these in jeopardy, Bo. More on that forecast coming up in a minute.
Sounds good. All right, Ken, thank you. Hey, I want to turn now to an update to a 6 on Your Side traffic alert that we've been following for you all evening. An accident that left a box truck sitting on top of a concrete median wall. This is a live look right now through the TDOT SmartWay cameras. This accident is along I-40 east and west near the Holston River. This is mile markers 394, 395. Traffic, as you can imagine, backed up for miles now in both directions. And this includes 40 and 640 eastbound in Knoxville. Details, none right now as to how this happened, how this truck ended up sitting on top of that concrete barrier. They do have the tow truck in place, but we'll continue to monitor this for you. Just know it's going to be slow going east of town to the Holston River on 40 east and westbound for a while. Well, 2 men hurt after a bobcat attack was reported in Virginia this week. The local sheriff's office there says, well, there was also reports that the bobcat attacked some cattle and a dog. In addition to that, it reportedly tried to enter a house through an open door. Now, is there still anything to worry about in the rural community near the Tennessee border? Well, that question is still up in the air tonight because a bobcat in that area was hit and killed by a car the day after the men were hurt. Officials do not know if it was the same bobcat that they're looking for. An examination and testing still has to be done. A major step toward approving Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11. There is only one more hurdle now to clear after the FDA paved the way for that age group to get the shot today. Everything is now up to the CDC. CDC advisors are set to make more detailed recommendations on Tuesday, and a final decision could come from the agency's director shortly afterward. Doctors across the country are seeing a surge right now of cases involving girls with Tourette's syndrome like tics, and TikTok may be to blame. Experts say Tourette's is a nervous system disorder and is not contagious. However, doctors are seeing a surge of teen girls with tics. So what's causing this? Well, doctors believe the tics are linked to watching social media posts about Tourette's and tics. The Tourette Association Center for Excellence at UCLA says brains are automatically trying to mimic other people's behaviors. People your children are seeing in social media videos. President Biden met with Pope Francis at the Vatican ahead of the G20 summit in Rome. The White House says the president thanked the Pope for his advocacy for the world's poor, his leadership on climate action, and his push for vaccine sharing. Biden continued a presidential tradition by giving the Pope a command coin reserved for leaders and warriors. And Queen Elizabeth has been advised to rest for the next 2 weeks at least, cutting back on her busy schedule. The Associated Press says the Queen reluctantly accepted the advice. This all comes after the Queen underwent medical testing after she canceled a trip to mark 100 years as the creation of Northern Ireland. Veterans Day is less than 2 weeks out now, and to honor our veterans, WATE is once again proud to partner with Operation Honor Guard for our annual donation drive. We're collecting money to support local volunteer honor guards and their mission to offer a last tribute of respect to their departed comrades.
And what we do here with the Veterans Honor Guard, we lay our brothers and sisters to their final resting place, and we give them full military honors that they can, for the family, and that's what we're here for.
Service is free to the families of honorably discharged veterans. Now, the donation drive falls on Thursday, November 4th this year, with the option to donate through our phone bank or online at WAT.com. Our phone bank, by the way, will be taking calls from 6 to 7:30 next